I hope you're doing all right. This is the Monday reading, starting another week, aren't we? My God. God help us. So, I've got some different decks I'm using, which I will show you as I go through the reading. Thanks for giving the video a thumbs up, because it's just going to help me build the channel back up again. Thanks for all your support and lovely messages last week. It was really nice. So let's go into the energy, and I'll chat at the end. Let's go into the energy then for beginning of the week, Monday. What is Tarot saying for us? Okay, they are saying that you're making slow and steady progress. Slow and steady progress wins the race, and you are going to be successful. You've got the victory card here. So people are going to be taking note of how well you're doing and noticing changes in you. You know, you're really, really doing a lot of good things here. Previously you might not have got a lot of recognition, or people might not have noticed, but definitely people are starting to notice now how hard you work, how hard you are working at everything in your life right now, and how much more stable you are. You know, you're really making a lot of good progress, and you're being true to yourself, you're being authentic. You might only be making one small change at a time, but all those small changes are adding up, and they're leading you to finally, not that we're out there to be noticed, but that's what Tarot is saying, that you're going to be noticed for the amazing work that you do, because you don't give up. You know, whatever it might be personal work on yourself that you're doing that I'm talking about. It doesn't have to be career work, but whatever personal work you're doing in terms of your stability, being authentic, you know, progressing with the things you want to progress with, you are literally like putting in the work, the time, the effort, the commitment, and you're not giving up, and you just keep going. You just keep going your own road. You know, this Knight of Pentacles, he goes his own path, he carves his own path, and that's what you're doing. And you're going to be successful, and people are going to notice changes in you. They're going to notice your achievements. They're just going to notice you, basically. And, you know, you will have knowledge that other people don't have. You will be very, very knowledgeable about the things that you have achieved, and that knowledge you are going to be able to pass on to others as an example. So let's see what we're getting for your person for the beginning of the week. Your person's making good progress as well. This keeps coming up again and again and again at the moment. There's somebody connected to you who is at the beginning of a journey, and they're realising they've got to cooperate with others or cooperate with you. They realise they've got a lot of work to put in. They want long-term success and stability. They want to have better networks, and they want to be financially secure or secure within their environment. So this person is definitely trying to turn things around at the moment. This person is headed for good things because they are putting in the work. So rest assured, this week should be a better week for your person. Okay, if they've been a bit up and down, because I think that was in the last reading, that this person was unpredictable, a bit up and down. It looks like this week they're going to be making better progress, better headway towards a more stable and secure energy. Let's see what your person's thinking. Okay. Your person's saying, can you accept me as I am? That's challenging. I'd say it's very challenging to accept this person as they are. I'd say it really triggers you, and it kind of depends what you've got going on in your life, whether you can handle that or not sometimes, because if you've got your own sort of stuff that you're dealing with, and you're pushed up against the wall, have you always got the patience to be going the extra mile for this person and be accepting? Because this person definitely has a hell of a lot of work to do on themselves, or a lot of work to do in terms of their life, and it does take a lot of patience, and it can be quite draining dealing with them, and it can be triggering. So, you know, and the thing is with this person, they don't have the capacity to really change. So it is a case of you having to accept them as they are. And I think, again, you can do that on a good day. But on a testing day, when things are difficult, it's harder, isn't it? It's more harder to accept them the way they are. So that's just like an ongoing thing, isn't it, really? An ongoing test that we're going through as a soul family. Okay, let's see what we're getting from this deck for our love message. Let's see what we get. It's lovely and sunny here today. Beautiful day it is. Very unexpected to have a beautiful day because it's been very gloomy. Right. Ooh. Look at this. True love. True love comes when you least expect it. Okay, so some of you might be experiencing love. And also some of you might just be getting into a deeper place of self-love with yourself, which I think we are as a soul family. I think we're doing much better in terms of our self-love and accepting ourselves. You know, it's not just about accepting someone else, is it? It's about accepting ourselves. Oh, sorry, I've got cranberry juice today. Matches my outfit. But yeah, so some of you might be experiencing some love. Also, it could be in any relationship. It doesn't have to be intimacy. It could be a friend or a family member where there's just, you can just feel that there's more love between you, which is a nice thing to experience. I think we want that, definitely. We don't want any more aggravation, that's for sure. I think we've been tested as a soul family. We've been severely tested in our relationships, and all I can say to you about that is some of it is karmic. Yeah, some of it is karmic, and it's just something that we have to go through to pay karma back. But some of it is obviously to do with us learning to love ourselves, and learning to also curb our ego down and not be so reactive. There's loads of different reasons. Okay, let's see what we get from the angels. This is the Angel Messages Oracle. So yeah, we've been tested with relationships in this soul family, and probably quite a few of us are a bit tired of it at the moment. But just remember, like I said, it's curbing down the ego, so there is some good to come of it, because every time that person triggers you, it's helping you go into a deeper state of surrender, which takes you closer to spirit. Okay, spirit knows what it's doing with us. Messages from your angels. What angels do we have today, and what are they saying? What are they saying? Oh, this is cute. Rosetta. It's a little angel called Rosetta, and it says, you have a gift for working with young people, and your divine purpose involves helping or teaching or parenting children. Okay, so there's something to do with children there. If you don't have contact with children, it could be something to do with your own inner child, and that in this lifetime, one of your soul missions is to learn how to be kind to your own inner child. Because that's something, as a soul family, I think we have found really difficult, to prioritise our own inner child. It is something that we are on a path of learning to do. And if we do, every time we look after our inner child, we are burning off karma, you know, and that's brilliant. So, but you might have some involvement with young people or children. Right, we're going to see what message we get from your spirit guides. From that deck, messages from your animal spirit guides. Let's see what our spirit guides are helping us with at the moment as we start this new week. Here we go. If I can turn the card over. Definitely got two. Right. It does say here, you are too enmeshed in this situation, so step back and see the bigger picture before making any decisions or taking action. And I was saying how we've probably been triggered by somebody lately, you know? We've probably been triggered by somebody lately, and it's been very testing, this relationship. And I said even a few relationships could have been testing, but in any case, whatever relationship it is that has tested you, your spirit guides are telling you to surrender, step back, and allow everything to unfold as it is unfolding, and allow yourself to then see things from a less involved way, if that makes sense. Okay, because there could be a situation where you've been a little bit too intensely involved and you now need to take a step back because of the fact that person is so triggering. You know, you don't want to end up making the wrong judgment or being reactive in a way that you know isn't really your alignment, you know. People's ego can pull us out of alignment all the time. And we, you know, the gurus in India practice the ability to not be reactive to other people's ego. You know, that is why they are like Zen masters and they stay so still, because they don't get triggered by other people's ego, and that's very hard. I think especially for us in this soul family, like, I know my ego gets so easily triggered by other people's ego. Drives me mad sometimes. Because I want to remain peaceful. I don't want someone taking me out of my peaceful centre. We're very sensitive in this soul family. We don't like that, you know. So yes, this person wants us to accept them, but we also need to work on accepting ourselves and staying centred in ourselves, you know, and not get too involved in their life or their stuff. And it says here, keep your sense of humour and don't take things so seriously. Well, that's easier said than done sometimes. I just heard Gilbert. Gilbert's making a little dream. He's making a little noise. Keep your sense of humour and don't take things so seriously. That's a good reminder from Spirit. Not to get so involved. Take a step back and try to be more light-hearted. Not easy, I know. Because like I said, we are sensitive and we do get reactive in this soul family. Because we care, you know, and we do have true love for the people we care about. We really do. But we're all about practicing non-attachment, you know, which will serve our highest and best, because the more we practice non-attachment, the closer we are to Spirit. And at the end of the day, that is the reason we're all here. Bottom line, isn't it? We're all here in this incarnation to get closer to Spirit. Right. So let's see what our loved ones in Spirit are saying. I'm going to get my nails done in a minute. I was going to go and get my nails done next week, but one of them's cracked, so I'm going in a minute. Okay, loved one in Spirit, come closer to us now and let us know what you're thinking, what you're doing. We love you. Oh, this is nice. This is really nice. You have nothing to feel guilty about. So if you're feeling a bit, you know, stressed about this person and a bit triggered by this person, Spirit is saying you don't have anything to feel guilty about, because you can only be who you are and do what you do in the moment, you know, and everything anyway is predestined. So if you reacted in a certain way and you wish you hadn't, or you're dealing with something in a certain way and you wish you weren't dealing with it in that way, you wish you could deal with it in a different way, don't feel guilty, because it is literally all our karma is playing out, and that's what Leela is. That's what this play of life is all our karma's playing out, and we don't really have control over it, in all honesty. You know, it's happening all the time. So your loved one in spirit knows that you've been stressed and worried about a situation, and that you wish you could have dealt with it differently, but they're saying don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty for it. So it's a nice reading, as always. You're making really good progress this week. You're going to be noticed for how well you're doing, or you're going to be noticed for the things that you're doing. Yeah, you're going to be feeling pretty pleased with yourself and how you're progressing with your life, and you could have one particular victory that you're pleased about. Your person is making good progress this week, and they're going to be a bit more stable, I believe. They're definitely somebody that tests you. Can you accept me as I am? And they are a testing person, and you do want to accept them because you do love them. But it's hard because you're on your own journey of healing, and as much as you want to accept that person for who they are, you also need to accept yourself. And your angels are helping you with working with children or young people, or how to look after your own inner child. And that's the most important one. You know, the more you look after your own inner child, it starts to merge back with you, and you sort of heal and become one. And then you're not really then carrying around the inner child anymore, because you've healed it and you've merged back. So every choice you're making, every decision you're making to honour your inner child is helping you become more whole and complete. And your angels are helping you to make better choices for your inner child, which is really good, because we see so many people, don't we, who don't look after their inner child, and it's really sad when you see that in somebody. And it's been very testing for us as a soul family to do it, because nobody taught us to look after our inner child. We were taught to neglect our inner child, abuse our inner child, but now we're trying to learn how to look after our inner child. You know, and that takes a lot of persevering, but we're doing it together. You know, look at me taking a year off the channel. That was me looking after my inner child, because my inner child was so overwhelmed. You know, it was like up against a wall. I couldn't cope. So I had to prioritise my inner child, and I'm making decisions now all the time to make sure that I'm caring for my inner child better. I've still got a way to go with it. I know I still do neglect it, you know, so it's not easy, but we're definitely doing better, aren't we? We're doing better than we were, and I love that card. So the more you look after your inner child, the more you can rest and recover. And your spirit guides are saying to you to step back from a situation, maybe step back from that person that's unpredictable, or that person who tests you a bit. If it's, you know, you don't have a relationship and it's more about you and the fact that, you know, you have struggles to accept yourself, and you have struggles with being unpredictable, and, you know, you frustrate yourself, you know, spirit is advising you to just take a step back, like maybe meditate, do what you can to stop thinking about your issues, give yourself some headspace. I know it's difficult. But, you know, give yourself some headspace from things, because somehow it's like we've become a bit too enmeshed in a situation, or too enmeshed in a relationship, and we need to take a step back from it to kind of see things more clearly. And spirit is also saying to kind of keep your sense of humour if you can. I have to admit, this morning I have not felt like I've had a sense of humour. My daughter had, well, I'll tell you in a minute. Your loved one in spirit is standing right next to you. They've been standing right next to you all week, and they are saying to you, you do not need to feel guilty about anything, okay? You have been trying your absolute freaking best, you know, and it is what it is. This is the play of life. We just do what we do in the moment. Spirit is the doer. So that's the message. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it is useful for the beginning of your week. And yes, I feel very exhausted because my daughter had a terrible morning this morning. She's autistic and she's got mental health problems, and she was totally cracking up about going into school today. It was terrible. And anyway, luckily her dad came in with me and we spoke to the head teacher for quite a while, and they're going to put make a few changes for her to see if it's going to make it a bit better for her. And they actually did seem to be listening to me, because I was like, she does actually have a diagnosis and she does actually have a disability. So, you know, I'm not making this up, I said, because I feel like nobody believes me. But I said, I'm not making this up. And head teacher was good. So she said she did believe me. So I felt quite pleased by the end of the conversation. I think they're going to put a bit more support for her in place, because she's not coping. She's really not. She's only been back 2 weeks and she's already cracking up, bless her. But, you know, it's hard. It's hard asking for help, whatever age you are. It's hard asking for help when you're a child, and it's hard asking for help when you're an adult, isn't it? And I know it took me long enough, you know. And the thing is, sometimes you ask for help, but you sort of get fobbed off. And if you're not determined, you don't get the help. You have to really scream and shout sometimes, don't you? But anyway, hopefully her situation will improve now that they're going to help her a bit more. Then my support worker came round, so that was nice. She's a new support worker because the other one's gone off to university. So I was a bit sad because I've had a lot of changes, because my counsellor's leaving me Monday. My therapist, he's leaving me, and my support worker has left me as well. So 2 people leaving me at the same time. But anyway, the new support worker, she's really, really nice. And she's from like the mental health team. So that's not so much to do with my autism, that's more to do with my mental health. That's what she's about. That's like, because my mental health is like a whole nother thing. But she's putting me in contact with some autism like organisation. So hopefully that might help. But yeah, it was nice talking to her, but I feel a bit tired and I've got to go and get my nails done now. So that will cheer me up. That will take my mind off things. And I think I'm going to go blue. I think I'm going to go for the colour blue. I don't know. I'll see when I'm there. But yeah, I hope your weekend went all right. And obviously we've got this new week ahead, but it does look like it's going to be a more stable week. I would say this week you'll feel a little bit more stable. Things should feel a bit more stable this week. That's how it looks to me from the cards. So I'm sending you lots of love and peace wherever you are on Gaia. Thank you for giving the video a thumbs up so we can get it out across YouTube. And thanks for all your support. And I will see you tomorrow.